Everyone to the 95th annual Findlay Market Reds opening day parade. We want to get down to the ballpark right now because Ken Brew is standing by with a very special guest. Ken.
Well, I'm standing by with the legend, Joe Morgan, number 8 in your program. What was your favorite opening day memory?
That's interesting. My first opening day memory was my very first opening day, obviously. We opened the Astrodome. It was the first game played in the Astrodome, and I remember playing in it, and I got a base hit, so that was pretty good.
Good memory is right. You know, we were just talking about the Cardinals. They're very good, but all of it right now is gum flapping. It doesn't start to count until 4 o'clock this afternoon. They are very good, but that doesn't mean that they're locks to win this thing.
Oh, they're definitely not a lock. One thing to watch for the Cardinals this year. Last year, I mean, they're runners hitting with runners in scoring position was unbelievable. You have a tendency in baseball the next year not to be as good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the name of the game. I mean, this is not a simple game. I mean, they hit way over what everybody else hit with runners in scoring position last year. Let's watch that, and I think you'll have a better understanding of who the Cardinals are.
And conversely, the Reds have a lot of injuries, and not to dismiss anyone that's on the injured list, but the core players are still here, the guys you're going to rely on for your run production and for your defense, and this team is built around defense. So even though these injuries are devastating, I don't think it's Armageddon.
No, you got to remember one thing. We had the injuries last year, too.
Yeah.
Remember, Ludwig got hurt opening day. Cueto wasn't around, most of the season. This year, Cueto's back. We've got other guys back. So I don't think the injuries are going to be the problem. I just think that we have to have guys, step up and do the things that they're capable of doing. You don't have to do overly, what you're normally going to do, but you have to do what you're capable of doing.
We were out at the youth academy that's being built out here in Roselawn. It's an ambitious project, but I'm told you were the guy that brought the idea to Mr. Castellini.
Well, no, they started that before. I'm not going to take credit for that.
Okay.
They've been giving me credit for that, but I'm not going to take credit for that. What I did do was trying to help things move along quicker, by my relationship with the commissioner, my relationship with Frank Robinson. I tell you this, the Castellini family and the foundation already had this in the works. They were going to get it done. I just helped speed it up. So I'm not going to take credit for doing it.
We saw Pete Rose last night. Right now, who wins in a race from first to second? Joe Morgan or Pete Rose?
Hey, what are we going to do? We're going to use a dial to get us, because I tell you what, it takes us a long time.
It's always good to see you, number
Always
8.
my pleasure.
Joe
Thank you very much.
Morgan, yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
All right.
Back to you.
I think I'd like to see that race, Ken.
Make it 3 ways. Put Concepcion in there too. See.
Concepcion, I think, might take him in that one. What do you think?
I'd vote on Davey at this point, I think. Pete's on a bad knee. Joe's, you know what? I'll tell you, though, I probably would take Barry Larkin. Larkin will be down there for all that.
Throwing out the first pitch.
And, Joe was talking about his first opening day memory. And Barry never went to an opening day. He grew up here in Cincinnati.
That's right.
Never went to one. He said, I wouldn't even bother to ask my parents. They'd just say, don't you have school today? So he never went to an opening day. So it was when he was a player that he first saw opening day in Cincinnati.
You were just looking at a nice shot from Chopper 9 there. It was of an empty, right now empty, Great American Ballpark. Not going to be empty for very long. And I got to tell you, one of my favorite things just happened. The Oak Hills band at the Oakettes went by, and then as you looked as they passed us, everything, because they're red, everything was just packed full of red in the distance, and it was pretty fantastic looking.
That does seem to be the predominant color down here today. I think you got that right.
Yeah, they sure did.
And lots of kids. Boy, I'll tell you, it's the schools must be a little thin.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, on opening day, we've talked about it already before. I mean, my mom yanked me out of school. Lots of kids. This is a holiday for them. I know my kids wore red to school. They're out of uniform today. They got to wear red. They got to wear something.
And a lot of businesses take half a day off or have a picnic at work or something to celebrate. So it really is a holiday. I mean, it is unbelievable. There's just nothing like it in all of baseball.
It's so much fun. I think if you're a little kid to see. I was just watching a kid changing his socks down here. I think he I'm not sure why he was doing it. I think he wanted to get a better view. But you had a cement mixer in there. You had those wagons. You have lawnmowers.
Was this Roger Bacon?
We had the Rumpke dump truck a little while ago.
And you had a very old-time bus like you used to ride in the 50s and 60s, and I think it was the Transit History Museum. So I mean, it's a great opportunity to enjoy part of this town's history and also the things that we interact with all the time. Let's go over to Tom McKee. Tom is down, I believe, around the Banks area. Tom? Oh, he's at Fountain Square. Tom, go ahead, sir.
Well, the parade continues to roll past Fountain Square here, much to the delight of the thousands of fans assembled along 5th Street, taking a look at the 95th edition of the parade. And what it includes here, good old Al Bartlett from Florence. Al's here with his grandkids, and this is Addison, who's 5, and Gavin is?
6.
What's the attraction of the parade? What do you like the best so far?
Just the atmosphere, a lot of fun. Kids are enjoying it, they're having a good time.
Now, have you ever been to a parade before, Addison? What do you like the best so far?
The music.
She likes the music. And Gavin, what do you like the best?
The big blow-up animals.
The big blow-up animals. There you have it firsthand. From a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old's perspective, the best parts about the parade. Tom McKee, not on your side, live at Fountain Square with the parade continuing right behind me.
Thank you, Tom. You know, we talk about a lot of ceremony involving opening day, and of course, once they get to the ballpark, more ceremony. We have 2 people throwing out the first pitch today, Davey Concepcion, of course, and former and Hall of Famer Barry Larkin. And then there's this whole thing. We've got the national anthem, honorary captains. That is, since I'm here, John Cranley. There's an entire list of recognitions and all kinds of things. You want to make sure everybody is involved in opening day.
Yeah, and we've had presidents, former presidents here. It's amazing how many different people have thrown out the first pitch, and some are forgotten. Mark Mallory will never be forgotten because of the pitch he threw at one point. You know, I
noticed Mayor Cranley is not throwing out a first pitch today. I don't know whether Mayor Mallory ended that tradition or not.
He
That's
can't
a little
beat
Miami van you're taking a look at, by the way, right there, just so you know what you're seeing. Doing a great job.
Greg, I imagine there's always been music involved with this parade, but I've read, and there was even a tally-ho wagon that somebody presented today, and that's what I've read in your book. The tally-hos were the things that
big horse-drawn wagons, and they would just sort of meander through the downtown area, and oftentimes, 20, 30 people would be on board, and they'd have noisemakers or drums or musical instruments, and it sounded a little bit like a roving tailgate party, John.
That's exactly what opening day should be, doesn't
Probably
it?
didn't just sound like it, it probably looked like it too.
Was.
It probably actually was. Well, let me tell you, folks, you are watching the 95th Annual Findlay Market Reds opening day parade here on 9 on your side. We're going to have much more of it when we come back.